Look, with tariffs rising again and talks continuing in Paris, are we entering a new phase of permanent trade friction between the US and the EU?
Well, I think we can certainly expect this to continue for the next 2.5 years while Trump is in power, because what has happened, I mean, to be fair, on this occasion, the US have a slight point. What has happened is that they did negotiate a deal and the Europeans have not, in fact, implemented it as yet. But equally, the reason that the Europeans have not implemented it is they don't trust President Trump to stick to his word either. So, you know, if you like, neither side trusts each other. That's not a good basis for stability in trade world or for knowing what your tariffs will be in the next day, really.
You talk about the US maybe having a little bit of a point. So is this still about negotiating better deals, or has trade policy just become a tool for political pressure on both sides?
Well, trade policy always was a little bit of a tool for political pressure. Clearly, in the hands of President Trump, that becomes ever more so. So he wants to get his way. He is succeeding, by the way, in reducing the amount of imports from the EU of goods, if not necessarily in producing them in the US. But at the same time, this is a huge trade relationship, and both sides do need the other. So they also need to consider trade. So if you like, you've got different negotiations within the same within the same structure. Some parts political, some parts trade, and you're going to get a messy situation, I'm afraid.
You say this is just how the world works, but you know, how much economic damage are these tariff cycles already doing to businesses who are trying to plan long term?
Well, we can't even see the damage. We have seen that goods trade involving the US has gone down. I think it'll take us a little while to see the effects of businesses unable to plan. But we've seen in the US that the investment numbers that are suggested by President Trump are really not borne out by reality. I think we'll see that EU investments are also being hit by this. So there will be long-term damage to business investments simply because they can't trust what the trade arrangements will be in the future. That's a really poor basis for investing. So no question there'll be damage. The scale of it, very hard to tell at this point.
Certainly is. David Henig, thank you very much indeed.